guys. Okay, so today I am going to be talking about Our Lady of Guadalupe. Our Lady of Guadalupe is awesome. Today is her feast day, and I actually did the 33 days morning glory. So I did a consecration to Mary, and I loved it so much. It really kind of renewed my love for her. I've always had such a great love for Our Lady. And to be honest, I feel like she has always had a special place in her heart for me. And I think a big reason why is because I've been so open to her. I've been so open to receiving her love and letting her bring me closer to her son and stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about a couple different things, but mainly Our Lady of Guadalupe. I picked that my consecration would end today because I have a great devotion to her. She's Our Lady of the Americas, actually, and so I'm in the United States, so I absolutely love that. I've been to 3 different Marian apparition sites. So a Marian apparition is where Mary has appeared to people, and it is documented in the Catholic faith. And so there are 3 like main one. I know they're all over. In fact, there's one in Wisconsin, and they're all over the world. They're pretty phenomenal. I actually had a deeper conversion through learning about these Marian apparitions. My mom was huge on Marian apparitions growing up, and my mother was a great storyteller, and so she would tell me all of these stories about different ways that Mary would appear to different children. They were mainly children that she would appear to. So I've been to Mexico City to Our Lady of Guadalupe. I saw her tilma, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that story in a minute. And then I've been to Lourdes as well, which I have a great devotion to Lourdes. I love Saint Bernadette so much. She's one of my favorite saints. And then I've been to Fatima as well, where the 3 kids of Fatima saw Mary, and there was a huge miracle that happened there where I think it was like 70,000 people came, believers and non-believers, and every single one of them saw the same thing. And pretty much they saw, it sounds weird, but they saw the sun from the sky fall to the ground, like drop to the ground, and everybody ran, and it was like a big crazy scene. And it had been raining and raining and raining, and so the sun fell towards them, and people were panicked and running, and then the sun like started, it was spinning, and then it like went back up into the sky. And so everyone was like, okay, that was crazy. It was like 70,000 people who saw this. When the sun went back up, they looked down, and everything was dry. Nobody was wet, even though it had been downpouring rain upon rain and stuff. So anyway, it's a phenomenal story. There are just so many miracles that have happened to saints, and to like the Catholic faith is so phenomenal because there are just so many like supernatural things that have happened. Even like the Eucharist, there have been miracles where the Eucharist really turns into the flesh, Jesus's body and blood, and it's like just documented. Like they've had scientists try to figure it out, and they can't figure it out. There are saints who have been incorruptible, which means that the Catholic Church has, dug up their body and opened their casket, and their bodies look the exact same as the day that they died. Like they have skin on them. Like it's just, I mean, I could go on and on with the amazing miracles that have happened throughout the Catholic faith, with saints and all of that. And I mean, there's so much to the Catholic faith. That's just one part, like the supernatural part. But I mean, there's so many. Oh my gosh, I just love the Catholic faith so much. So anyway, about Our Lady of Guadalupe. So if you haven't heard this story, it's pretty amazing. So there was a very simple man, Juan Diego, and this was, oh my goodness, when was it? I want to say the 1500s. Juan Diego started going to Mass, and he would have to, and he was just a normal everyday person, like very simple person, but he would walk miles to go to Mass. And what happened was one day on the way to Mass, he saw Our Lady, and she asked him to talk to the bishop and ask the bishop if they could build a church right where she was standing. And so he didn't want to do it. He's like, oh yeah, I mean, the bishop's not going to want to talk to me. I'm a nobody, you know, just very humble person. And so she had him gather roses in his tilma. So it's almost like a potato sack, what he used to wear. And so he put, you know, the roses in it, and then brought it to the bishop, and the bishop like made him wait all day, like didn't want to see him and stuff. Went to the bishop, and finally the bishop saw him, and he's like, what would you like? And he said, Mother Mary wants you to build a church where I was. And he said, okay. And so he said, Mother Mary wanted me to give you these. And so he drops it, and drops the roses, and on his tilma was Our Lady of Guadalupe. That is where you'll see Our Lady of Guadalupe is on the tilma, and they still have that tilma today. And when I believe I was 19 years old, so that was 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm aging myself so much. But I had two friends who, back then it was a lot more safe to go to Mexico City, and I had two friends who were going to Mexico City and wanted to know if I wanted to go with them, and to see Our Lady of Guadalupe. That was the whole purpose of why they wanted to go there. So I was like, of course, I would love to go. And so I saved up my money, and I went, and I went to the church because the bishop ended up building that church. And so I went to the church, and they had to build a church right next to it because I think that church, because it was so old, it was like starting to sink, if I remember correctly. It was a while ago. So they built another church, and this church was huge and round. And so I go into this church, and actually right before I get into this church, I see her. And she's much smaller than I thought she was, because I've seen huge posters of her, and so I just assumed like she'd be this huge poster, but she's just like almost the size of a towel, really, and like a smaller towel. And I see her, and it's pretty far away because the church is huge, and I just start bawling. I just started crying, and I just instantly knew that this was painted by God. Like, God painted this picture of Our Lady, and she's beautiful. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it right up here. But she is so beautiful, and there's a lot of, actually most of Mexico was converted through this image. Word got out, and you know, I was, like I said, I was there, and so they have like buildings with stories all over them of miracles that have happened through Our Lady of Guadalupe, through the intercession. And she has, the image is very symbolic. Like, there's a lot of symbolism with it, because back then they were very like tribal and stuff, and so their tribe had different symbols. And so it's so neat because everything about her image is symbolic, and it's beautiful. It is so neat. I absolutely love it. Love the picture. There are several stories that the guide at the time would tell us, and I remember quite a few, but one was that there was a guy who just hated the Catholic Church, hated Mary, and you know, you used to be able to go up to the image and place flowers before Mary next to an altar, and he brought up, you know, a whole bouquet of flowers with a bomb in it, hoping to blow up the image. And so he brought it up, and the bomb went off, and the image was not at all touched, and it was like very close, like it would have shredded it, but nothing happened to the image. In fact, there was a cross next to it, like a standing cross on the altar, and it was bent, and they still have that in the church and stuff. But it was just the neatest thing to actually see Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I've always just had such a love for her. Doing this consecration, I've done the consecration, I want to say like 3 other times. One, when I was very little. So you can consecrate yourself to Mary, and pretty much you're giving yourself to Mary to bring to Jesus. And it's so neat because I did the 33 days to morning glory, and it just clicked with me, this consecration, that Mary has been carrying me this whole time. So when I was in 5th grade, my mom homeschooled us. It was the only year I was homeschooled, and part of our curriculum that year was the consecration. Me and my brother both did the consecration. I don't remember what feast day it ends on because all the consecrations end on the feast day, but I did the consecration. I remember it pretty well that I did that, and I just remember being like, yeah, I love Mother Mary. She's awesome. She's great, you know. And it's so interesting because doing the consecration now, I feel like it's clicked so much, because pretty much what you're doing is you're saying, Mother Mary, I give myself to you as you are my mother, as if she is my mother, and she's gonna protect me and guide me. And I can see so clearly now so many ways that Mother Mary helped me and guided me, and how blessed I am that I was a little girl when I did that, when I was consecrated to Mary. Like, what an amazing life to have, because she did nothing but bring me to her son and help me to have a better relationship with God than I could have on my own. And it's just such a gift that my mother gave to me, you know, that she had me do it. And I don't remember if I did it willfully or not, but I probably didn't think much about it, but I was like, sure, I'll do it. And but I'm so thankful my mom did that. I was in 5th grade, and the protection that Mary gave to me. I remember in high school, like, being cool, like, not cool, but like, you know, I was pretty average, but nobody would invite me to parties. Like, I was never invited to a party, and most of my friends did pot and did, you know, bad things, had sex before marriage, and, you know, all these things that are not okay. But I feel like Mother Mary protected me, and at the time I was crushed. I was hurt that I was not invited to these parties. Like, I'm just so thankful now that she protected me from those evils, those things that could have really affected my life in a different way, you know, if I would have let it, you know. And she didn't allow it. Like, she protected me. And there are so many different ways that she has protected me, and it's now doing the consecration, I get it. I just like, so I'm just encouraging you, if you've never done a consecration, even if you have, I've heard you can do it once a year, and so I'm hoping to do this once a year. But it is phenomenal. It is so amazing to have Mary as your mother, because she wants you to know her son. She loves her son so much, and it's not like we're worshiping her, we are asking her, please take my hand and lead me to Christ. Or, you know, like for my children have all of these things that they want to ask their father. He's very strict. My husband is very strict with our children, and I am too, but they'll ask me, Mom, will you ask Dad this, you know? And so I do it because I can say what they're trying to say in a better way, you know, in a softer way, in a way that would comfort him. And my husband I've never heard him say no to me. He's so sweet. But I bring to them, you know, I bring what the child says to me to him, and we'll discuss it, you know, and then he'll, you know, tell me. But I feel like that's Mother Mary with God the Father, is she brings our prayers to him, but she first perfects them and makes them even more delightful to God, if that makes sense. So anyway, I am just blown away by Our Lady of Guadalupe. There are so many different Our Lady of Cabejo, there's Our Lady of Knock, there's just so many apparitions that are really amazing and just neat. I don't know, I just would love to see Mother Mary and have a conversation with her. I just think that's so awesome that so many people get to do that. in our lifetime, you know, and stuff, because she just wants to connect with us, and it's just beautiful. So anyway, that's kind of my little just share with you Our Lady of Guadalupe on her feast day, and just how amazing she is, and just some kind of fun stories that I thought might be enjoyable. Let me know if you've ever been to a Marian shrine here in the United States or outside, and how was your experience? I am so excited to hear about your relationship with Mary too. Like, what is it like for you with your Mary relationship? Are you close to her? Do you wish you could? All of that. If you do want to, I would highly recommend the Total Consecration to Mary, because that really did, even though I feel like I've been close to her, it's definitely deepened my relationship with her and stuff. So anyway, that's all I have for today, and until next time, I will see you all later. God bless. Bye.